Hey, you guys, this is infection control. Let's begin our lesson number 1. So you're probably wondering, what will I be learning today?
Number 1 is to review the federal agencies and 3 of its departments, which are OSHA, SDS, and EPA. Objective number 2 will be to review the state agencies. Therefore, at the end of this lesson, you will have a better understanding of the responsibilities of both the federal and state agencies in cosmetology. Let's take a look at the 2 agencies that regulate the cosmetology industry. The first one is the federal agency, which is the U.S. government. Therefore, if they make a certain law, it will apply to all the states. The second one is the state agency. Any law passed by them will only apply to Texas. Federal agencies oversee the manufacturing and sales of equipment and products, the use of equipment, and monitoring safety in workplace. Let's see what state agencies are responsible for. They regulate licensing, enforcement, conduct in workplace. We need to make sure we follow all laws so that we don't get fined. So federal agencies created OSHA under the U.S. Department of Labor. They are responsible for regulating and enforcing safety in workplace and to keep cosmetologists safe from hazardous toxins. To lower the number of cosmetologists exposed to dangerous chemicals, OSHA created HCS, which basically required chemicals be checked for dangerous toxins. So then HCS created MSDS, which is now called SDS, which is a document with all the information about a chemical. So remember, SDS stands for Safety Data Sheet. In the document, you will find 16 sections that will give you detailed information about a chemical product. We will go over each section in more details in the next few slides. Wow, this is a long list, 16 sections. Let's get started. First on the list is identification. This will basically give you the name of the product and the name of the manufacturer. Section 2 gives very general warning information. For example, if a product can only be used by a professional. Section 3 is basically just a list of all the ingredients. Section 4 is the first aid measures, which detail the initial action you will need to take before the professional responders get to the scene. For example, whether it be paramedics or firefighters. Section 5 will be used by the firefighters, which will provide them with the best recommendation for fighting the fire. Section 6 will detail the appropriate cleanup response to the chemical incident. Section 7 provides guidance on the safe handling practices and conditions of safe storage chemicals. Section 8 basically gives you recommendations on protective gear to use to minimize exposure while using the product. Section 9 explains caution when exposing the chemical to extreme temperatures. Section 10 explains any issues that may arise should the product change in physical appearance. Section 11 explains any health effects the use of the product may cause. Section 12 explains the environmental impact of a chemical if released to the environment. Section 13 basically explains the disposal and recycling of the product. Section 14 explains the proper way to ship and transport of hazardous chemicals. Section 15 identifies any regulations specific to the product. Section 16 gives you the last known revision date. One of the responsibilities of the EPA is to make sure each product has its own unique registered number. EPA must also make sure chemicals are being used for their intent. Therefore, the EPA ensures chemicals have mixing instructions, proper contact time, and are used in the proper surfaces. So what are disinfectants? They're chemicals that destroy most bacteria, fungi, and viruses, but they do not kill bacterial spores. 2 main disinfectants used in the salon are hospital disinfectants and tuberculocidal disinfectants. Let's dive into what is a hospital disinfectant. Number 1, the term hospital is actually not used by EPA. Number 2, it is effective for cleaning blood and body fluids. Number 3, it is used on non-porous surfaces, and it controls the spread of diseases. Tuberculocidal disinfectant is proven to kill the bacteria that causes tuberculosis, but we must be cautious because it can be harmful to the tools and equipment. Awesome job! You have completed infection control lesson number 1. Don't forget to review your notes and check out my other videos on GoodNotes for more detailed information on infection control.